Hello, my name is Asal Shokati, Ayurvedic practitioner, healing artist in Houston, Texas. And we're back again with another wonderful interview with the practitioners. And today I have my friend Monica Leveron, a wonderful friend we met at a creativity conference. She may correct me better because I forgot the name of it, but we hit it off, and she was that one friend that I couldn't have even asked to come along for me over there. And the fact that we're both in a similar world, in a sense of our professions and our interests, we have managed to talk many times, doing things together. And luckily, we also have a common area of interest, which is sleep. I look at it more from the Ayurvedic perspective, and she does from yoga. So, just to tell you a little bit about Monica, she helps busy women simplify their wellness so they can sleep better and have more energy to enjoy life. She's a yoga therapist and neuromuscular body alignment expert and has trained with renowned neuromuscular therapist Lee Albert. She lives and works in both Sweden and China, where she started her entrepreneurial journey and currently runs her business. So, without further ado, I would love to have Monica say hi and talk a little bit more about what she's been into these days, which is a lot. Hi.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that we finally made it happen. We've been talking about this for a long time, and it's always so nice to be around you, even if it's just a Zoom call. I feel like you have this beautiful energy, and I always learn so much from you. So
Oh,
thank you
thank
for
you.
having me.
It's a mutual feeling. Just to let everyone know, Monica and I had talked about having Monica in Houston some years ago, and life has changed and changed and changed until uh, recorded meetings and live meetings have become kind of the norm. So we're bringing it to everyone on the YouTube platform. So,
That's a good thing, right?
yeah. Monica, tell us more about what you've been up to these days, because sleep is one of the main focuses of your practice, but you take it deeper. It's not just sleep, it is a rejuvenation, relaxation, it is emphasis on meditation and more. So, why don't you talk about it yourself?
So I started with yoga therapy a couple years ago. Well, almost like 8 years ago. I found this amazing yoga therapist, and I totally thought I was going to get free yoga classes because my insurance was paying for it. And at this stage, I was in a very, what can I say it? I was dealing with a lot of anxiety, dealing with a lot of insomnia, dealing with my self-thought, self-emotions, and just not feeling worth it. And I would always put everybody before me. So the word boundary wasn't in my vocabulary, and I I was seeing psychiatrists and I was doing a lot of work, but it seemed like I was dependent on them because um, I needed to talk. I needed somebody to tell me what to do. So when I found yoga therapy, I was like, wow, I want to do this because in my third session, I felt amazing. I was like, wow, finally I'm taking ownership of my own healing. I can sleep better now. I know it's a roller coaster, but now I can predict when I'm feeling grumpy and that's gonna end in something else. And then I was able to back up and breathe and use all these tools. So I've learned all that. And then I decided to specialize in sleep because I feel like if you talk to people about depression, they're like gonna be like, no, I don't understand. I don't even want to go. I don't even know I'm in depression, right? And I feel like when I help people sleep better, that just helps their whole universe. It helps their partners, their family, their business, and everybody around. Like when you have a good night's sleep, we want to be again around you. When we don't, I don't even want to be around myself, right? Because I can be so grumpy. I can be so tired and overreact and all that. So sleep doesn't start when you put your head in the pillow. There's so many other things and other tools that can help to improve sleep, and that's why I made it like I started with a small program for stress management, and this is my way of giving back to the world. It's a low price program. That doesn't mean it's not worth it. It has many of the amazing tools that help me, and it's helping my clients sleep better and just relax and be able to understand what really stress is and how it affects your life, your body, and finish the stress cycle, not only get rid of the stressor, right? So that's one of my mini programs. I am relaunching it next month. So a lot of new videos and tools, and I'm so excited for that.
Oh, wow, this is interesting. We are recording in the summer of 2021, and when the video is going to be up on YouTube, that's probably around the time you launch the program. So I will share your information and contact with everyone different times through this recording, and so they can find you. But you brought up two things. I have two questions. Let's start with the smaller one, which is more of a comment than a question. You brought up stress, you brought up sleep, you brought up how it affects not just you, the world around you. And I see it more as a door, a portal. It is important. It's absolutely vital for us to have proper sleep. Just based on the words of Charak, an ancient Ayurvedic doctor, sleep is that one thing that defines life versus death, sterility versus virility, happiness and misery. And he goes on and on and on, saying like that thin line is sleep. You literally can, through not having proper sleep, go the direction to the detriment of your health, with severe consequences and no return. So it is really, really important, but at the same time, it is a portal to get into other arenas of life. You brought up stress, you brought up relationship. Has this been that one answer you were looking for? Do you think the answer lies within it? It's a strong enough portal to go through to help all these areas, or is just the beginning of something? So by that I mean it's focusing on sleep, because as you said, different elements go into it. We cannot just like have a sleep routine and pretend that we're going to be sleeping well. It's like so many emotional elements go into it, which I'm sure you work with your clients. Is this that one right portal for a lot of people to go through? No cookie cutter answers. Or is this just the beginning of finding the thread to rebalance other areas of life?
Well, I think it's both, right? It's an important element, but if it's the only element that you do, everything will fall into place. Because your sleep is that one thing, that simple one thing that it's going to help your body, your mind, and your soul to reset. So think about it as a phone or a computer or a car. If you leave your car all night long, like eventually it's going to run out of gas. You don't know all those things, but just the big difference between your car and your body, your soul, your spirit, is that you could find parts for it to replace it. They're not going to fit the same, but you only have one body, right? You can buy as many parts as you want. So I think that sometimes we take it for granted because it's free, because we got the luxury to do it most of our lives, most of us. And I feel that we wouldn't do that to our car. We wouldn't do it to our cell phone. We'll plug it every night. We'll, make sure it has a good cover, make sure it has all the new development, the new things, but we forget about our body. And I did for a lot of years. So I know that it's just so simple, but at the same time, since society told us that we have to do more and be very busy, if not, we're not worth it, we believe that. And that is so hard to take it out because it's been ingrained for years and years and years.
Yeah, it's become a part, as if it's become a part of us, that way of thinking that was implied upon us. So do you think there is, by saying that if the definition came from the outside, do you believe a certain minimum and maximum hours of sleep is necessary, or is it based on every individual and their reserves?
I think everybody's different, and in every step of your life and every season, you're gonna do it different. For example, summer, for me, it's so hard to get 8 hours of sleep, right? And in winter, I can get 10 or 11, no big deal. So I feel it's very different. It's very important to learn how to adjust. That's why I don't tell my clients what to do. Together, we create a routine, we create tools, we explore. And then when they are on their own, they can actually do it and feel it. I'm like, this is moving forward. I know this is happening. So I feel like it's not, I do believe that 7 to 8 hours should be the minimum, especially because if you tell people 5 hours, they're going to do 3 and overachievers. So if you tell people 8, at least they're going to do 7, 6, and it's healthy.
Yeah, I understand. Like I remember the very first time I started like learning about sleep protocol through the Ayurvedic studies. One of the things our professor recommended is like throw away the alarm clock. Just learn to go a little bit earlier every evening to bed, and then feel the difference. If in severe cases, he had recommended to people to take time off, vacation time off from work, and try this thing without the alarm clock and see how much of reserve they would end up building up. And that
That's
was,
such a gift.
it is. And our bodies are pretty intelligent, that we wake up when we need to. Now, in certain situations, certain jobs, vocations do not allow for us to any leeway, or some people work nights or whatnot, that could be, I don't know, in the yogic world, their dharma or whatnot, but for most of us, we can have some sort of management over it by changing our practices. So just wanted to bring this up and also know your opinion about, like, the minimum, maximum hours of sleep, which thank you for explaining it based on the circadian rhythm. So my other question that I haven't asked is, you talked about yoga therapy. What is the difference between yoga therapy, a yoga therapist, versus just yoga that one may practice on daily basis, and there are different kinds. But tell us a little bit more about yoga therapy and why it worked for you.
So the main difference between yoga and yoga therapy is that with yoga therapy, you become your own chef. Technically, let me go back a little. I like to think yoga as food, right? Because it's easy to relate, and because depending on the stage of your life, depending on what your body, your mind, your soul needs, is the type of food you're gonna get, right? You don't eat the same thing when you're in the morning or at night. You don't eat the same thing when you're mad or when you're happy or when you're sick. So same thing happens with yoga. If you do the wrong type of yoga for your body, yes, it might be the best choice. And yes, you can get injured. And I say this over and over because it's very easy to go see yoga poses and this weird things that's going on. And yeah, it's very important to remember that yoga came to the West for teenagers that were doing gymnastics. So we need to adapt and get the best thing of yoga for our body and what we need. And so with a yoga class or a yoga teacher, you technically go to a restaurant and pick what's up, right? Oh, there's no chicken. Okay, let me get beef. Or I'm a vegetarian. Let me get veggies. So it's more made for more general, even if it's one-on-ones. The main level, like with the yoga teacher, it's only 200 hours, or a little bit more depending. To become a yoga teacher is only 200 hours, and then you can add up. And with the yoga teacher training is those 200 hours plus 800 hours more from practicum. So it's more in depth to start with. And what I like to think is that with yoga therapy, you become your own chef, because together with your yoga therapist, you learn the recipes, you learn the tools, you learn how to cook, so eventually you're going to be able to do it on your own, unless something new comes up. And what I tell my clients all the time, like, you're good to go, but you want to learn more, like, keep doing it, keep getting the work. And that's why I recommend to do get the help of a yoga teacher, yoga therapist, to do a lot of the things. And with yoga therapy, you to think about all the yoga words, right? We work a lot with illnesses and the health environment and mental health. So there is a lot of deep training in that, like how to use yoga to support and how to use yoga as a healing modality.
That's amazing. The more you talked about it, the more I saw how resembling it is to Ayurveda. I keep bringing it up because these are all simple methods that are natural to human bodies, but they're not cookie cutter. And so you just learn, as you said, you learn the tools. And I would say probably over time our intuition gets developed, more honed, and we would just respond better to our bodies. So we pick and choose.
Yeah. And Ayurveda is the science of yoga. So we do have in yoga therapy Ayurveda module. So we do incorporate it, not as an Ayurvedic practitioner, but we work with the circadian, we work with the doshas, we work with a lot of elements to make it as natural as possible to not go against nature.
Yeah, that's well said. Natural as possible to not go against nature. Yeah, modern lifestyle has brought that upon us, that we have already, and we are even losing it more so by being so connected to our screens, as convenient as it is, which is providing this platform for Monica and I to talk to you right now about all this stuff. Being attached to it is one of the major things that unfortunately put us on this path of being disconnected from our natural rhythms. And the more we are, the less we understand the damage, and we just think, okay, well, we have these ailments coming up. Why is this imbalance in my life, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, or whatnot? And we just forget that we have been severing our connection to our natural rhythms.
Yeah, and I do it all the time. So if you're listening, you're like, yeah, like I do it too. Like this past 2 weeks, I haven't been sleeping as well as I would like. I'm waking in the middle of the night, and I have been changing my medication and changing things. But 2 days ago, I was like, okay, no phone. No TV. Like I usually don't watch TV during the week, but like no phone, no nothing, like disconnect. And I went outside and just walked around barefoot and came in and read a book for a little bit. I wrote my gratitude journal and, made it as dark as possible. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, I feel so good. And I was like, okay, what did I do different? Because last days I've been like kind of pulling myself out of bed. And it does make a difference. And it's okay if you get out of that cycle, just come back to it over and over.
You're right. It's not beating ourselves up, but knowing that things happen, like we go on vacation. If we're really trying hard to stick to our routine on vacation, we can bring misery upon ourselves. So, and it can happen during everyday life. So it's a good pointer you said, to go back to it, no matter how many times
Yeah.
you have to go back to it. And then one day it's second nature, and maybe not, but we show up for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what role does meditation play in bringing balance into our lives? Because that's also another area you focus on, um, along with Yoga Nidra, which I believe it translates that to sleep yoga
Mm-hmm.
in a more common way of saying it. Uh, Tell us about your ideas and thoughts about that and the importance of it.
So one of the things that meditation can help is to balance your psycho emotional level, right? That 3-year-old making a tantrum every time something gets out of your control, or maybe this trauma triggering it, or just like being overwhelmed and stressed that's triggering all those negative thoughts or reactions or a lot of things. So meditation, what can do is help you listen to that without overreacting, right? And I do focus on meditation. I feel like a lot of people who don't have experience with meditation, they come to me, and I try to make it very, very simple. That's my module, right? Wellness Simplified. And I have a program that I teach my clients, 26 tools to meditate, because meditation can be very simple, but it's easy to complicate it. And especially, it's very easy to think I should be doing exactly what she does. That is the type of meditation I should be doing. And no, just like there is type of meditation, so there is ice cream flavors, and I'm sure that our favorite flavor is not the same one. And even if it is, we might not like it from the same shop. So I feel that it's very important to learn the type of meditation that works for you. And it's very important also to get different tools, because sometimes you're not that one that always does the trick is not going to do it, and you're going to want to back up. And at the same time, you learn that it's very important to prevent, like, oh, I call it have a plan B, right? I know that when my mother-in-law comes to town, I tend to be very reactive for this. Or I notice that before giving a talk, I feel like a little anxious, or whatever it is. And then you can say, okay, for my daily, I can use this meditation that works. But for this specific situations, I need to work with the meditation. Okay, this one, let me see if this one works. And then you try it, like even before the stressful things happen. Because when we're in fight or flight mode or freeze, it's not a good place to start learning to meditate.
I agree with you. I agree with you. It's and very happy you brought up that there are different kinds, and it gave me this mental image of like having a pantry, and you pick and choose. You just have access to the knowledge, that this works for this, that works for that. But also, based on my personal experience, when I learned to do it's a mantra-based meditation, which I do daily, there came a point and this is something that got brought up during a chat I had with Nick Werber, which is on YouTube as well, that when trauma gets triggered, then something else has to come in. We worked on embodiment, but also like here's like the difference between a guided meditation, which I know you provide, versus like learning to meditate on our own, which serves another purpose when that trauma is there, and you're doing, say, mantra based meditation on your own. You may find no escape from that, and that just triggers things even more.
Yeah, and it's so important, like, to acknowledge that trauma comes in so many ways. Like, honestly, I didn't know anything about trauma when before I was going into my yoga therapy program, and they did such an amazing job to prevent triggering, right? And what I've learned, and one of the most important things that I've learned, it was that if something very traumatic, like physical violence, an accident, suicide, something happened to somebody close to you, and it doesn't have to be on you, like didn't happen directly to you, that can be very traumatizing as well. And you might not think about it, but maybe there's very reactions and things that you've done, and of course it's different levels. So I feel like acknowledging that and being curious of, wait, why am I reacting for things? It might be more mild, it might be something just to be aware and work on, um, even with the meditation, right? But for me, that was very interesting to learn. And one of one of my amazing friends, she specialized in trauma. And when I finally understood like how it happens, it was like, oh, so what she says is that when a traumatic event happens, even somebody else or to yourself, what the body does is like puts like a big bandage like all over. So you're like, I'm protected. Yes, yes. So you're not going to remember a lot of things. And then when you're ready, you're going to start like taking one layer out and then the other and then the other. And, so that's one of the things. And a lot of things can trigger. And of course, as a yoga therapist, we try not to trigger anything and be more neutral as possible. But there might be things that might trigger it, and that might be the work that has to be done in that session.
Sometimes sometimes things just are ready and ripened to come up, and no matter what you do, how neutral the place you hold, it may come up.
Yeah.
Would you mind, would you like to guide us through a little practice, whether yoga nidra or meditation, a guided meditation, so we all experience something blissful?
Yes. Yes, but let's talk about what Yoga Nidra is first. So, very fast, just because not a lot of people know about Yoga Nidra, and Yoga Nidra is the sleep gem everybody should know about. And one of, like, there's so many good things about it. But one of the things I really love is that 10 minutes of Yoga Nidra can equal to 1 hour of rest, and that feeling of rest, right? And then Yoga Nidra works at the 5 levels of the being. So it might not seem like you're doing yoga, like typical yoga asanas and movement, but you are working with all the levels of your body. And it's a guided relaxation, and not only will help you to sleep better, it can just calm your mind, and eventually you can get to a deeper level of just noticing what's going on and making decisions and all that. So that's one of, like, a simple introduction of what Yoga Nidra is, and I love it so much. Like, that's the tool that helped me to start sleeping again. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to listen. And if you fall asleep, I encourage that. I take it as a compliment. And one tool that I or recommendation is just to try yoga nidra before bed. Also, like at noon that you're feeling like, oh, I need my coffee or I need a power nap, I recommend to use yoga nidra with that. And then if you have like an important meeting in the evening and then you're finished working, you can get a yoga nidra and then get ready. Or I would take a shower, do a yoga nidra, and then get up and finish getting ready. And I would feel so refreshed and so grounded. So
Wow.
that's one of the main things that yoga nidra can do for
The
you.
best kind of a boost one can ask for.
Yeah.
Not being
And
jittery, but being alive and awake while well rested and grounded.
yeah.
So please walk or guide us through one, and then later on share with us where else people can find you and find some of these amazing things you've done, for instance, on Insight Timer. So we talk about it after the practice.
Well, so if you're sitting down, you can be sitting down or laying down, whatever feels more comfortable for you. You're sitting down, place both of your feet on the floor. Feel the ground. Give yourself permission to arrive. Give yourself permission to receive the benefits of this practice. Take a breath and exhale. This is a safe space for you to relax. Know that you're safe. I'm here to guide you in a very safe practice. To relax, to reset, to acknowledge the love and gratitude around you, and the amazing person that you are. Feel your feet heavy, strong, grounded, alive. Now focus your attention on your ankles. The right ankle, the left ankle. Now feel the right ankle. Feel both ankles at the same time and breathe. If your mind gets distracted, that's perfectly normal. Just come back to my voice. Bring your attention to your knees, right knee, left knee, both knees together. Feel the top of your knees, the back of your knees, the sides of your knees, and breathe. Raise your hamstrings, quads, inner thighs, outer thighs, and breathe. Bring your attention to your hip bones, left bone, right bone, and breathe. Feel your abdominal muscles, your navel, your rib cage, right side, left side, and breathe. Place your right hand on your heart, your left one on top of that, and take a moment to listen to your heart. With your hands pressing your heart, your elbows, your shoulders. Take a breath and relax your shoulders. Relax your neck, front, sides, back, shoulders. Soften the muscles in your face, your mouth, your nose, your eyes, cheekbones. Feel your ears, forehead. Now feel your whole body at the same time. Take a moment to set a positive affirmation. Positive affirmation in present tense. Something like I am loved, I am grounded, I'm strong, I'm happy. Whatever your heart desires this morning. Repeat that phrase to yourself 3 times. And then smile because it's true. Notice your upper body without moving anything. Bring your hips up, just notice. Now notice the lower body. Bring your hips down, knees, legs, toes, ankles. Now imagine the front part of your body. Now imagine the back without moving anything. Notice the muscles that are touching your chair, the ground. And now imagine the muscles that are not touching the ground or the chair. Just breathe. Bring your attention to the root, the root chakra, the first chakra, the base of your spine. Imagine yourself grounded, safe. Imagine the color brown. Imagine the color red. Bring your attention to the area of your genitals, your second chakra, the sacrum. Imagine the color orange. Breathe, notice, allow thoughts to come and go. Bring your attention to your solar plexus, right below your ribs. Imagine a bright sun. Is your inner power, your creativity, that sunshine that you need to loosen. Bring your attention to your heart center, your heart chakra. Notice the color green, emerald green. And pay attention to all the love that you have to give, and all the love that you receive. Just in gratitude for your lessons learned, for the people around you, for all your blessings. Of your attention to your throat, space where you keep those words that we don't say, those anger or overreact and hurt others. Remember to bring your words from your heart and then passing through your throat to go out through your mouth with love, gratitude, appreciation, and respect. Easier said than done, but with practice, anything is possible. Bring your attention to your third eye, right between your eyebrows. Imagine the color purple. Notice yourself here and now. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Repeat your intention. And breathe. Bring your attention to the crown, top of your head. Imagine the color white. Imagine that space there like a little fountain. Just covering your whole body with white, with a protecting shield. And just knowing you are safe, you are alive, you are perfect just the way you are. Allow yourself to be here and now. Listen, notice. Notice without judgment. Five deep breaths here. When you're ready, start moving your hands, moving your arms. Stretch your hands up into the air.
Wow, that was just wonderful.
Thank you. That's the best part of my job, that I get to relax and enjoy.
It does a lot in a sense that it brings us back to that vessel that we often escape, which is our body, when we jump into our minds or when we want to go on spiritual endeavors and dismiss the body. That it all begins here, and this is the way through that we often forget. So thank you for the reminder.
You're so welcome. Thank you for putting it in words that reminds me as well to come back home.
It is. Monica, I would love for our viewers to connect to you because your wealth of knowledge and the programs you put out there. They're just amazing and much needed for this day and age. So share with us your website. I know you're on Instagram. I know you're writing a book. I don't know when that's going to come out. Just briefly tell us about that, and hopefully we can have another session together.
Yeah, thank you for that push. My book, I started my book January this year, and then I took a pause because I'm launching too many programs. So I have a stress management meditation simplified, and this autumn, sleep simplified is coming back. So this is my signature program. That it's a 6-week coaching program to help people sleep better and have more energy to enjoy life. I'm all about enjoying life and simplifying things and doing less. And sometimes that is difficult to master, but my book is in the same thing. I talk about sleep and how the tools help me and how help so many of my clients. So maybe next year I'll have the first draft. I'm not in a hurry for the first time in my life.
Crossing my limbs.
I'm taking it easy. I'm letting the universe guide me and not worry about having things tomorrow like I always do. So stay tuned for Sleep Simplified program. It's coming out in the autumn. If you're having trouble falling asleep or you want to get more of Yoga Nidra, you can find a 10-minute free meditation, so you can download it and have it all the time, so you don't need Wi-Fi for it. And it's at monicalebaron.com/free Yoga Nidra. And if you just go to my website, monicalebaron.com, you're going to find all the ways you can work with me, a lot of freebies and a lot of events. I do a lot of events, hopefully in person soon, but a lot of fun conversations with amazing healers around the world, and just like looking to spread the love of yoga therapy. And the tools are simple. I try to keep it simple. So yeah. Oh, and Instagram, you can find me at monica.le.baron. So my last name's with dots in between.
Wonderful. And I share that share that below, and also people will get to see it on the video. Thank you again so very much for spending time chatting with me about these concepts. Like, we can go on and on and on days talking about it, but this is just another gateway. Hopefully, the reason I'm recording this for YouTube is so people can search and find it, rather than it being a fleeting moment of information coming through, as it could be on different platforms. So hopefully over time, over years, this can come in handy more and more and help and support a lot of people. Thanks again. I know we'll talk soon. We'll connect sooner.
We will. Bye. Thank you for watching. Oh, and leave your comments, what you like best and what you want us to focus on next time.
Yeah, absolutely. And subscribe here, because I will be coming up with different practitioner interviews, and they're amazing. And I want you to listen to them and share them with friends, because we never know who gets help and supported along the way. We just have to spread the love. Thank you again, and see you soon.
Bye.